Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Is it permitted for one to walk in an area in which there are women who are not modestly dressed? So it is no secret that today's modern society, in probably close to 80 to 90% of the world, women have adapted a Western culture and a Western form of dress in which the concept of modesty has been left for the museums or the frum community and not on the streets of the city. And public areas are filled with immodest sights. And the question is, what are some guidelines that men are to be aware of regarding walking in such areas? Is it permitted at all? If it is permitted, under what circumstances? What are one's obligations while walking through such areas, etc., and the like? So we have a Gemara in Bava Basra Daf Nun Zayin Amud Beis, which talks about this very subject. It discusses a person who was walking down the riverbank and he sees Gentile women, as Jewish women wouldn't do such a thing. So he sees Gentile women doing laundry on the bank of the river, and naturally they are not modestly dressed as the result of the act of the laundering. The Gemara then brings a pasuk from Yeshaya which states that a tzaddik closes his eyes from seeing evil and says this is the case in reference that when one is walking in such an area on the river banks and he doesn't look at the women who are standing there doing the laundry, he is considered a tzaddik. He closes his eyes from seeing evil. And the Gemara then questions the intent of this statement, from which we derive the answer to our question that we started. The Gemara says, what case scenario are we referring to? If this individual who we're calling a chassid or a tzaddik had another path available, he could have gone jogging on the street of his block instead of on the beach, Ika darka achrina, then even if he closes his eyes, he's a rasha. As the Rashbam explains, as he shouldn't have entered himself into a nisayon, a situation that will challenge him to need to close his eyes when he had another path available. If, however, he had no other path available, he's going to bathe, he's going to mikveh, he's doing whatever he's doing by the river, and he happens to see them, the Gemara says, Anasu, Rachmana Kapatra, he is considered an oinus against his will, and how can you hold him accountable? And the Gemara concludes that nonetheless, a tzaddik, a chassid, nonetheless in this situation implements the verse, Eitzim Einav Miras Berah, that he closes his eyes, he turns away not to look at evil, not to look at them. And from this Gemara we can understand the following halacha regarding people going into immodest areas where there are women who are not modestly dressed. That there is a difference between the availability of what you're looking for, where it's available, and how you can get there. If you have two paths available to get to a certain destination, one is filled of arayas with an ayin, as they say it starts with an ayin and then turns to an aleph, and another path is quite clean, it's more modest, or there's less people that are on this road, then it's forbidden for one to walk in the road in which women are not modestly dressed, being that another path is easily available, in which there is modesty in that area. And one who does so is called a rasha, even if he says, I'm going to do Shemir Sanayim, I'm not going to look. Nonetheless, in the event that taking the other path, the more modest path, will entail wasting more time, let's say it's a longer route, or it'll cost more money, such as if I have two stores available, one has less modest people, one has more modest people, but the store with the less modest people has really good prices, then in such a case, it's not considered Ika Darka Achrina, and you don't have to go the more modest route. It's only if they're equal in time and money that you have to choose the more modest route, otherwise the person's called a rasha. Nonetheless, certainly a chassid would choose the more modest route, even if it takes more time and costs more money. Now, in the event that there's only one route available to get to your destination, and it happens to be a modest, you're allowed to go. Nonetheless, a person who is a chassid, as the Gemara says, will walk in a way that he prevents his eyes from ever seeing the woman, even though there's no obligation to do so, and this is only the darga of a tzaddik or a chassid. And as we know, there were Gdei Yisrael who would walk out in public with a covering over their eyes to prevent them from seeing anything immodest. However, min adin, it's mutter to walk regularly, even in such a place, being that you're honest, you have no other way to get to your destination. However, even when you're walking through such places, the following guidelines still apply. It's not a free-for-all of exemption from Shmir Seinayim because there's no other way to get to your destination but through the immodest route. Number one, it's obviously always forbidden to stare or take a second glance, and only the basic sight necessary for walking is permitted. This follows the ruling of the Poskim, including the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch chapter 75, halacha 1, that a mere glance at a woman is not an isser when it's not done for pleasure purposes. But to stare is absolutely forbidden, according to many Poskim in Torah. So that certainly would be forbidden when walking in a modest area, irrelevant whether there's other routes available or not. Likewise, the Igros Moshe writes in the Shulchanaruchharav, Volume 1, Tshuva 40, that every man is obligated as much as possible to walk with his head facing the downward direction when walking in public or in the streets, in order so he not see women and not enter himself into the Nesayah. Now, even though from the Gemara it's implied this is only the level of a chassid, practically it's recorded in Shulchan Aruch chapter 1, chapter 2, that one is to walk in a humble manner whenever he's outside, which means that he should walk in a way that he sees the floor, the ground next to his feet. Regardless of the matter of Shmiras Einayim, this is necessary because one is required to walk in a humble manner. And when one walks in such a fashion, it prevents him from seeing all the Marim Bishim, all the forbidden sights that would be seen when walking in an upright manner, which, as we said, is forbidden due to the Isser of walking B'Kayma Skufa. In addition to the aspect of that one needs to walk in a way that prevents him as much as possible from seeing immodesty. So to summarize, you're going somewhere, there's two ways to get there. One has less modesty, one has more modesty. You have to go in the more modest route, unless the less modest route will save you time or money. In which case, from the letter of the law, you may take the less modest route, but a chassid will go in the more modest route. When walking in public in the modest areas, while you are allowed to walk in a normal manner, even if you will be seeing women as you're walking, you must try as much as possible to keep your eyes towards the ground, that you see the ground next to your feet, and that, of course, chas v'shalom, not to stare or look twice at something that one sees.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.